All right, guys, it's the time that you've all been waiting for, or at least I have. We are doing the vegan bacon taste test. So I have the variety here. There is a couple that I could not find. I've tried before, like Sweet Earth's Benevolent Bacon and Unmacro's a macro bacon. It's like a shelf-stable one. This one is also a shelf-stable one, but I've never tried it. It's the Vegan Select gluten-free bacon sliced. But I couldn't find those other two, so this is what we're working with today. So we have the Upton's Bacon Seitan. This is probably the most, like, I don't know, healthy. And the Vegan Select gluten-free bacon slice. Like I said, this is a shelf-stable. The Blazing Bacon thick cut vegan bacon. We have the Thrilling Foods maple and black pepper thick sliced bacon. We have the Lightlife, which is, you know, a classic. Had that one many, many times. We have the My Bacon, which is made from mushrooms, fun fact. And then we have the Bee Leaf vegan bacon and the Vegetarian Inc. vegan bacon slices. So we're going to try all of these bacon today, and I will let you know which one I like the best. So we're going to start with the Upton's. This is the nutritional information and the ingredients. And this is how they recommend cooking it. All right, this is what it looks like in the package. I mean, it's seitan, you know, so it's going to be high in protein. My expectations are this is going to be a little dry. So I have a pan here over medium heat. I just sprayed a little bit of avocado oil in. All right, these are cooking up in the pan. I'm not going to season any of the bacon that we're taste testing because I really want to get the authentic flavor. And I just flipped them, and they are browning nicely. I already know that these are not going to get as crispy as some people would like their bacon, just because it is seitan. And there's like a delicate line between crispy and burnt. And I find that seitan just does not get as crispy. And the next one we're going to be frying up is the Lightlife Smart Bacon. I've had this many, many, many times. It is the most easily accessible for most people, I feel like. This is your nutrition facts. There is your ingredients. And there is your cooking instructions. And this is what the Lightlife bacon looks like, uncooked. And much like the Upton's, we sprayed a little bit of oil in here. And we're going to cook them for a little bit until they're brown on one side and then flip them over and cook them on the other. I find the texture of these to be more like turkey bacon than regular bacon. All right, so we've got the Upton's bacon here and the Lightlife bacon. Let's give them a taste test. All right, so the Upton's did get crispier than I thought it would, but it's still a little floppy. The Lightlife is very much same, but like I said, this is more like a turkey bacon than a normal bacon. So the Upton's is just like I thought it would be. It's seitan-y, it's smoky, it doesn't have any like sweetness to it. It's dry. So it's chewy, a little crispy, smoky, dry. More salt. If I would have seasoned this with some salt, maybe some pepper, I would have liked it more. All right, let's try the Lightlife. So the Lightlife I like better. I've had it many times. It's similar in like the slight crispiness, chewiness. It doesn't have a smoky flavor like the Upton's does, but it's saltier, which I appreciate because when I think bacon, like yeah, you think smoky, sweet, but I'm really looking for like a saltiness, and this just does it for me. But like I said, neither of these are like bacon. I'm not a big bacon fan in general. I never have been. But they're a little bit chewier. So if you like a chewy bacon, not as crispy, then you might like these. All right, the next one we're going to be cooking up is the My Bacon. This is the mushroom bacon. It's mycelium. This is your nutrition information, ingredients. And this is how to cook it. All right, let's give this one a try. All right, this is what it looks like. It looks terrifying. So it's covered in oil, which makes sense because mushrooms don't have oil. The oil here is the coconut oil. And yeah, I've had this one before. It's not my favorite, but we're gonna cook it up and give it a try anyway. And we're going to be cooking up the Vegan Select gluten-free bacon sliced. This is your nutrition information. Those are your ingredients. And then right under that, it has your cooking instructions. This one only has 4 slices in it, so it better be good. All right, so I sprayed a little bit of oil in this pan, and we're gonna cook these Vegan Select bacon up in here. All right, and this is what that bacon looks like after it's been cooked up. It is, I wouldn't say it's crispy. It's more on the chewy side. I rubbed a little piece right here. But we're gonna let it cool and see if it gets any crispier. All right, and there is the My Bacon in there. All the coconut oil is already melted. But as you can see, it's a lot greasier than our other bacon so far. So that's what the mycelium bacon looks like when I flipped it. All right, and here is the My Bacon all cooked. It is crispy. I did put a paper towel down because this is so oily. Okay, so we're gonna be trying the Vegan Select. This is the shelf-stable vegan bacon. It got crispier than I thought it would, but it is chewy. I can already tell. All right, so the flavor is not bad. It's like a little smoky. I honestly wish it was a little bit more complex. Like, it is salty. Not as salty as the Light Life. Very, very little smokiness. I wish it was almost like a little peppery, maybe a little sweet. The texture is like if you put the Light Life bacon and the Upton's bacon together. That's what the texture reminds me of. But it's not bad. Just different. This guy got so crispy because of all that oil. Whoa. I actually quite like it like this. Because I've had this bacon before, but I haven't darkened it this much. I actually like it better this way. Like almost a little burnt on the edges. It adds this like umami smokiness to it. This is actually pretty good. It doesn't look anything like bacon. If you gave this to somebody who was wanting bacon, they'd look at you like you're crazy. But I would say if you darken it as much as I did, I think this is the best flavor that I've had so far. All right, the next bacons we are going to try is the Thrilling Foods bacon strips, the maple and black pepper thick sliced, and the Blazing Bacon thick cut sweet hickory smoke flavor. So we'll look at these first. Oh my gosh, you cannot see it through there very well. But there is the nutrition information. There is the ingredients. And there is the cooking instructions. And for the Thrilling Foods, there is the nutrition information. There is the cooking instructions. And there is the ingredients. All right, we got the Blazing Bacon in the pan with a little bit of oil. Okay, so this is the Thrilling Foods bacon, and I must say, this is the most fragile bacon I have been cooking so far. And based on the ingredients list, it seems like it's kind of like a tofu bacon, which makes sense to why it's so crumbly. But we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Hopefully it turns out well. Some of them after I ripped that one, I was more careful with these guys, but then this guy ripped too. So we'll see how it turns out. And then this is the blazing bacon. It is still pretty floppy. I cooked it for a long time too. It's not like I just threw it in the pan and then pulled it off. Like, I cooked it for a long time and it's still just a little floppy. All right, and this is the Thrilling Foods bacon all cooked up. So it is still flexible. Parts of it are crispy. But since it seems to be like a tofu-based bacon, it's really not going to get super crispy. All right, so first we're going to try the blazing bacon. It's a little floppy. I could not get this one crispy. So, even though it's not crispy, which doesn't really matter to me, I think I like the flavor of this one the best. It's got a texture kind of like the shelf-stable one, but a little bit chewier. But the flavor is really nice. It's like a little smoky, a little sweet, a little salty. I like that one. So I took the crispiest one from the Thrilling Foods. This one was a real pain in the butt to cook, I'm not gonna lie. I want to take a bite with the peppery portion on it. So this one is the most confusing one I've had so far. Texturally, it's weird. Like, it didn't get crispy so much as it got. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it reminds me of fried tofu, which I don't dislike. It's just weird to have a bacon be this texture. The flavor is smoky. I like the pepperiness, but it's not my favorite flavor out of all these, or texture. I still think this one so far, the blazing bacon, is actually the best one that I've tried so far. All right, so these are the last two vegan bacons for our taste test. We have the Bee Leaf vegan bacon and the All Vegetarian Inc. vegan bacon slices. They look very similar, but let's look at the nutrition information. So it looks like 3 slices is a serving, 130 calories, 11 grams of protein. That's pretty good. It doesn't have cooking instructions on this. It just says the instructions for making their asparagus bacon roll, which is interesting. And there is their ingredients. And for the All Vegetarian Inc., says there's about 6 servings per container. So it's like 1 slice is a serving, 61 calories, like 3 grams of protein per. Interesting. And there's the ingredients. So this one has textured soybean protein. It's very similar ingredients. Well, we will see how they are. All right, so the inside here, it's kind of like a marbled, like, almost looks like ham. This one is similar in the marbling, but it looks way more white and not as, just broke a piece off, and not as like muted as this one is. Interesting. All right, so I've got the Bee Leaf bacon up here and the All Vegetarian Inc. there. I'm just cooking one of each of these just to give it a try. All right, so we've got the All Vegetarian Inc. here and then the Bee Leaf. This one did crisp up pretty well. This one is still a little floppy, but we're going to give them a taste test. All right, we've got the All Vegetarian Inc. Ooh, interesting. Wondering how dry this is going to be. And then we got the Bee Leaf. So the All Vegetarian Inc. one was bacony, crispy. It was a little weird texturally, but I think it was besides the mycelium, I think the mycelium was very crispy. But I think it was the closest to bacon that I've had so far. Alright, so that one, the bee leaf, it didn't taste like bacon. It tasted like ham, first of all, and there is a difference. It tasted very hammy. It wasn't bad, but I'm not a big bacon person. I'm not a big ham person either. I think it was fine. But it reminded me more of ham than bacon. It was a little crispy, more chewy than the all-vegetarian ink one, but I think that was because the all-vegetarian ink one was thinner sliced too. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. But I'm going to think about all of the ones I've tasted, and I'm going to let you guys know what my final thoughts are. Alright, so final thoughts. So my favorite bacon that I tasted today, texture-wise and flavor-wise, was the Blazing Bacon. It's not as crispy as some of the other bacons, but that's okay because that doesn't matter to me as much. I liked that one the best. The one I'll buy again is the Lightlife because the macros are good and it's readily available for me. Like, I can buy that at Meijer any day I want it. I don't buy it often because I don't use vegan bacon that often, but that's what I would get. If it was readily available to me and I didn't have to go to a Whole Foods to get it, I would get the Upton's seitan bacon because the flavor was good, but the macros were even better. Like, it was the best macros out of all of the bacon I tried today. The crispiest and most surprising bacon was my bacon, the mushroom bacon. I thought it was really good if you crisp it up enough. When I had first tried it, I guess I just didn't crisp it up enough because I was scared it was going to be burnt. But actually, it was really good after you crisped it up more. I think my least favorite one, I think it was the Shelf Stable one. That was my least favorite. I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was very mid. And then the Thrilling Foods, I was really excited about that one, and it really didn't do it for me. I felt like it was too brittle, number one. And number two, it just tasted kind of funky. Like, it wasn't good enough for me, in my opinion. The Vegetarian Ink and the Bee Leaf, I was expecting to be like, wow, this is amazing, considering that I can only get them by ordering them online. But the Vegetarian Ink one was okay. It tasted pretty good, but the Bee Leaf was kind of hammy and weird. So overall, I thought all of these were good, but my personal favorites were the My Bacon, the Upton Seitan bacon, and the Lightlife bacon. Those were my favorites, and that I will get normally. But I feel like the Blazing Bacon was my favorite flavor and texture. It's just I'm not going to order that online every time I want bacon. But I thought it was the best. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!